Hey, thank you for being at Hub tonight. I'm so excited we get to do this together. And I'm so excited we get to do this together. It's been a little while since we've done Hubs together. We just finished church, and you might not know this, but often we record this Hub talk right after we record the weekend message because it really is desiring to make a connection between the two. That what happens on the weekend ought to be pulled into our week. In fact, when we prepare messages, we prepare series, we're not thinking about how does this play on a Sunday. We're thinking about how does this apply to our whole lives. I know that's part of the reason why you're in Hub right now is you want to see that application to your life. So this Sunday, I talked specifically about remaining in Christ. And as you remember, when you remain in Jesus, his word remains in you. He answers prayer. He brings fruitfulness. The fruit looks like love. It's this beautiful picture of God sustaining us and helping us to be all that we're called to be. And I think one of the things we want to do tonight, most specifically, is, by the way, if you didn't watch Sunday's message, I always got to remind people, like, go back and watch the service. It's so easy when church is on demand, and it's also so difficult to prioritize that time for some people because it's on demand. Let's make that priority to be in church when church is happening. And, for some people, like, I just had a pretty tired morning. It's like, guys, you open up your laptop, wherever you are. So let's just prioritize doing that thing together. But if you didn't, go back now. And at the end of Hub, watch it and stay connected with what's taking place. But one of the things that we wanted to kind of prioritize today is it's possible over the course of a season to drift a little bit. And I think if we could tonight in our Hubs, why don't we kind of reevaluate and be honest about where am I right now? Like that, how are you doing? I'm good. No, how are you doing really? Like reevaluating that piece and having a little bit of a look, honestly, introspectively in our lives, where are we at? We have a few different ways we do this. Why don't you go?
We do. So in our family, we have 7 kids. Mm-hmm. And so there's just a lot that happens every single day. And if we were to just allow days to pass, it'd be really easy for things just to come and go. And we're all just kind of doing the things that we need to do. So we have found that when it comes to dinner time, because we have some kids in high school, some in elementary school, Zion's still at home with me, and everybody does want to share. Like there is that desire to share. There's, the couple kids that are a bit more quiet, but most of them are like trying to share every detail.
At the same time.
So we've learned that a great way for everyone to kind of share some key points from their day is we go around and everyone can share their high and their low from the day. So something like the best part of their day, and then also like kind of the worst part, or just the thing that wasn't the greatest part of their day. And that way everyone gets to share and gets those important things out so we can stay connected.
And it's really like an immediate thing. It's not take a 30,000 view of your life. What's the highest part of your life? I'm thankful for family and health. It's like right now, today, what was a highlight? And I find what it's done is it's given focus to those of our kids who maybe just see everything is of equal volume. It's like, I got to give focus to the thing that's most important. It also allows to give focus to the thing that they need the most help with. So tonight in our Hub, why don't we do that and just share like right here and right now, like this specific week or even today, here's my high right now. Here's my low. Here's what I feel like is happening that I'm really excited about, I'm most looking forward to, and here's the thing that's maybe been the most discouraging. We have all sorts of rhythms that happen around dinner, and one of them of late, the kids have been saying, what vegetable is most similar to the size of the baby right now? If you didn't know, Jennifer and I, we're about 29 weeks along, and so what is it, like cauliflower or something like that right now? And as it gets to these later ones, it's all just different types of gourds, which would be a great baby name, by the way. We should keep that in mind. But, one of those rhythms is just what's a high? What's a low? Why don't we do that in our Hub tonight? And then the second thing I want us to do is a little bit more 30,000 foot. It's a little more big picture. And we would do this probably, a couple times a year as a church staff. We would also do this from time to time just in our own family life. And it's called a SWOT analysis. I don't know who came up with the name. It's an acronym that doesn't actually spell a word because it's SWOT. It's not even spelled correctly, but it's enough that it's stuck in my head and it's memorable. It's often used organizationally. And it's asking 4 questions, actually. It's like, what are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? What are the opportunities we have right now? And what are some of the threats we're facing right now? I want us to, if we could, after sharing a high and low, like, oh man, I got the shift that I'm wanting to get at work. It's got me really pumped, but it means I got to work with that coworker who really drives me crazy. Like, that's a high and a low. But then to look at that bigger picture and say, over the course of this year thus far, January, February, March, April, here's one of the things that has become a strength in my life. Here's one of the things that I'm recognizing is a weakness right now that I want to address. Here's an opportunity that I have, that if I have the courage, the creativity, the wherewithal, I could actually take advantage of this. And here's something that if I'm not careful, it's like crouching and sneaking up on me. It's a bit of a threat. So maybe we didn't even talk about doing this. Why don't we just do this real quickly, like a SWOT analysis? What would you say for perhaps maybe even church-wide? That's something that we'd say this has really proven to be a strength in this season.
Well, I think that you're all really amazing. So that's a strength. I think that you are amazing people. And I feel like there is a desire for people to stay connected. And I think that's a real value and a strength that people are efforting.
Yep.
Because it's so easy right now to just disconnect.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like that's a strength. I'm sure there's so many others.
Yeah, I think one of the other things that's been a strength is the adaptability of our team to continually be like, okay, I guess we're just doing it different now. And to immediately go from in-person services to online services, to adjust from hubs happen just seasonally to no, we do this thing every week, to make adjustments around how we do team nights, all those things. That's been really motivating and exciting to see. Any weaknesses stand out?
Weaknesses. That's always a tough one for me to come up with.
That's kind of cool too. Do you know what's funny? Is some people have an easy time pointing out all their strengths and a terrible time looking at their weaknesses. And then there's other people who can only do the other. They're like weakness, 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 and they can't see strength. Part of the value of doing this together in a group is we can point out in each other some things that we notice. And so I think that's why I'm not saying here's a little homework assignment for you. It's like, no, here's a hub work assignment for us. Let's do this right now. I think potentially one of the weaknesses that we're facing is just like weakness is not necessarily negative. It's natural as well. There's an exhaustion in doing some of the things that used to be easy. Have you found that? Like small talk is a little more exhausting than it used to be, and making the time and commit. It's just there's some exhaustion that takes place. And what I've found is that people on different sort of sine curves are high and then low. And sometimes, like in relationships, they're all on a low at the same time. That's pretty dark days. Sometimes they're all on a high at the same time, and that's amazing. But most often, they're kind of crossing paths. And so I think one of the weaknesses actually opens an opportunity for us to express our strength of encouragement and connectivity, like you talked about, is to be watching for those who are maybe just feeling a little discouraged and down and beaten up over this season. I think let's look at opportunities and threats real quick. You do opportunities, I'll do threats. What's one of the opportunities that you see presented right now?
Opportunities would be, well, I think right now you can actually share so easily because you can just share a link. And I love how somehow in the midst of everything going on, we've been able to grow as a church, and we now have a location in Toronto that feels like an opportunity.
Massive.
That's been exciting. I think there's a lot of positives actually right now. Yeah,
it does give you this, like sometimes people have said, do you have like a business card size invitation I could have? We're like, no, we don't really do that. We kind of save paper. Look online, but now everything we're doing is online. So you have those conversation starters. I think it's a massive opportunity. And imagine coming through the other side of this and going, I should have shared all those things. Like, let's put it out there. And then one of the threats that I am anticipating, and a threat isn't necessarily ever actualized, it's just something you recognize is there, is that there is a natural attrition to our spiritual fitness that takes place. Part of how we keep our passion is serving the Lord. And part of the way we serve the Lord is serving others. And part of serving others often involves togetherness. And so I would imagine that there's a bit of an attrition that is there. And with attrition comes the ability to pull muscles, to not have kind of the same sort of stamina for things. And at some point, We won't be doing church this way exclusively. We'll keep doing church online for people who are farther away, who are vulnerable, or who this is the best way for them to connect. But we will be gathering again. And I would imagine there's a threat of that attrition. And so I want to challenge you, even as a hub, what can we do to kind of boot camp this thing and get back into spiritual shape, or maintain the spiritual shape that we're in? It was a fun talk. I hope you guys got some stuff to talk about. Highs and lows. And then let's do a misspelled SWOT analysis. Strength, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. And in community, you just have this opportunity for people to point out things that maybe you wouldn't see. This Sunday's going to be great. Don't miss it. We got Pastor Wes Dunn from the House LA. He's going to be preaching. It's an amazing word. Got a great worship time. We're finishing out the month of April together. Excited to see what the Lord's going to do as we keep going forward. Love you guys.